Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today I want to talk about Nintendo in 2022. So, 2022 is already looking pretty good for Nintendo in terms of first party, third party, and indie. But I'm mainly going to focus on what Nintendo exclusives are for now. Obviously, there's other things we can get to afterwards once I'm done talking about the main stuff, but 2022 is already shaping up to be a pretty good year, assuming all of this stuff comes out this year, which we shall see. But let's start things off. We've got the new Pokemon game, so Pokemon Legends Arceus coming out fairly soon. I can't remember if it's the end of this week or next week. I don't know the exact date, but I know it's January. And then after that we have both Triangle Strategy and Kirby in the Forgotten Land, and then in April we know about Advance Wars. So already you've got quite the selection of games early on. Now I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not going to pick up Pokemon, but Triangle Strategy, Kirby and Advance Wars are three games that to me are looking very good. So you've got your big hitter with Pokemon. That's going to be very interesting to see how that shapes up for a lot of people. They are promising to try and shake up the formula a bit. Whether it'll be vastly different to the other Pokemon games, we kind of have to wait and see. I've not really been following it. I like the concept of going out and building the Pokedex from scratch and dealing with the Pokemon a different way, but I kind of fallen off Pokemon a long time ago, and I don't think this is going to bring me back in. But I will hold judgment until it comes out. But Triangle Strategy, it's really cool to see that the Square and the guys are still making this 2D HD style. A terrible name, to be honest. But Octopath Traveler, I still haven't properly played it. I absolutely love the demo. That was a really, really cool game. This is probably more my cup of tea. This is a turn-based strategy game, similar-ish to Fire Emblem. I'm not going to say it's like Fire Emblem, but that kind of turn-based stuff with heavy emphasis on story. That looks really fun. I really want to get that and see how that's going to be, and hopefully that ends up being a really good game. At the same time, we've also got the new Kirby game now. If you haven't seen it, I did a kind of a trailer reaction to the Kirby, the co-op trailer they released. And honestly, that really sold me on the game. The game looks really colourful, looks really fun. I'm actually really excited for it to play this 3D Kirby game. It's giving me, there's elements of it that are giving me Super Mario Odyssey vibes, and I'm like, all right, okay, we'll see how that ends up being. It definitely looked like New Donk City was in there. Probably wasn't, but it definitely looked like it. And so I'm actually kind of curious about the game. It looks quite fast. The abilities look fun. I mean, it's going to be probably quite easy. It's a Kirby game, but I love platformers, and it's really cool to see Kirby finally get a big 3D platform adventure. So that's really awesome. And then we have Advance Wars, which is, probably would have been my game of the year last year, that and Metroid, but it obviously got delayed. On the eShop, it says it's the 9th. It says April anyway. So we know that it's coming early April, or at least according to the eShop, it's coming early April. And I am super excited for this. This is really something I can't wait to replay these games, to see all the art style in first hand, hear all the music. I am very excited. And for me personally, I think Advance Wars is just one of those series that I just didn't think we'd ever get anything again, and the fact that Way Forward are working on it is really cool. I'm glad they delayed it if it had issues. I'm glad that Nintendo and Way Forward are sensible enough to not release a crap product, because let's be honest, Advance Wars needs to do well, and I really want Advance Wars to sell 1 mil, probably 2 million copies. I don't think it's going to get there, simply based on the fact that it's a turn-based strategy. But I'm hoping the colourful characters, I'm hoping the reviews for it are good. I hope they add enough to this re-release so that people actually enjoy it, because this is a kind of game where, I love the first two games. I love all the games in Advance Wars. I mean, the last one's very different, but I love all the games, and I really want to see a new one. I really, truly want to see a new one, and, I think this needs to do well. I'm excited because it's just fun. I mean, I love Fire Emblem, don't get me wrong. But Advance Wars was the thing I played first before I played Fire Emblem, and I'm just really happy to see that we're getting something. I mean, if you've not seen my reaction to it, my genuine reaction is up on this channel. I just didn't expect it. It'd been 13 years, and I was like, what? It's finally coming back. So already the start of the year for me personally, while I might not be interested in Pokemon, that's 3 games that I'm actually generally looking forward to. Now obviously I need to wait for reviews and see how these games turn out, but already, you know, Kirby, Triangle Strategy and Advance Wars, great. Like for me, someone who likes turn-based games, that's 2 really cool. Well, one game I know is great and the other one looks really fun. And platformers, which I also love. Then we know that we have Splatoon 3 is meant to be coming out this year as well. Now I can see the big summer game. Maybe it comes out in May. Maybe that is a game that comes out in May, but I can see that being the sort of May, June time, the big summer game. You know, it's got that colourful vibe. It's got that style and art style and coolness about it that, you know, it's a very summer game. You're basically shooting each other with water pistols essentially. And here's the weird thing, I loved the first Splatoon. I loved it on Wii U, I think it was great. I actually think this is one of the games that used the gamepad incredibly well, having the map down there, being able to tap to fly around. And then like the second one came out, and I just did not get into it nearly as much. I don't know if it was because I didn't like not having the gamepad, or I'm not sure what it was. But I think the games are fantastic. The first one was awesome. The second one was really good as well, but I just, like I said, I'm hoping this does come out in the summer in a quieter month where I can sit and play the multiplayer. I really like the multiplayer of Splatoon. Such a fun idea. The new stuff's looking cool. The way that you come into the levels and stuff looks really cool. Like I'm hoping to see more of this before the game comes out. An expanded story, and just, you know, the music as well. Music's fantastic in these games. But yeah, I really want to get into Splatoon 3 because I have Splatoon 2. I have both the first and the second one, but like Splatoon 2 maybe got like 5 hours out of me, unlike the first one, which easily got like 40 to 50 hours out of me. And, you know, I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was so much fun. So here's hoping I get into it. We're also meant to be getting Bayonetta 3 and Legend of Zelda, you know, Breath of the Wild sequel. Now, I don't know if both these games are going to make it into this year. I feel like they may end up moving one of them potentially. Not there's much crossover between Bayonetta and Legend of Zelda in the sense that these games are different, but I see if they do come out, I would put Zelda in November and I put Bayonetta in August/September. Right? You know, that would be a hell of a lineup. You know, that's your if you've got all these games mentioned so far coming out, you don't need to put out any more games this year. You've put out a hell of a lineup. But I've got a feeling that either Bayonetta or the Breath of the Wild sequel will get delayed. I feel like Bayonetta's more likely to come out this year. I want to play the new Zelda game and I want to play Bayonetta 3, but I'm really like torn on whether both of them are going to get delayed or whether one of them will and one will stay. It's hard to say. But those two are very... I mean, Bayonetta 3, let's be real, probably won't sell gangbusters, but it will do well, I think. People love those games. It's got a really good following. The second one is fucking phenomenal. That's such a game. One of the best character action games I've ever played. The first one's good, but the second one improves on it in so many ways. It's just the combat is silky smooth. It's such a good game. Something I will probably replay as soon as we get a date for Bayonetta 3. I'm like definitely going to replay the second one. On top of that, we also have Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope that is meant to be out this year. That I do think is definitely coming out this year. Yes, it is a Ubisoft game. I have to decide whether I'm going to buy it. Like, I'm not really trying. I'm trying to avoid Ubisoft stuff at the moment. I will see how it goes. But the actual game itself, it does look good. The first game was fantastic. This looks good. Like, I really, I'm glad they're making a sequel. I'm glad that they've got the same people on board as well. Really happy for that team. Like, it seems like that's the one studio, I think it's Ubisoft Milan, that seems okay, but like, who knows. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that coming out, even if I have to watch it. And the other thing is obviously these rumours, or there's potential for Metroid Prime 4, something for Metroid Prime, or Metroid in general. I don't expect to see Metroid Prime 4 this year. I expect to see trailers for Metroid Prime 4 this year. I don't expect Metroid Prime 4 to be out until 2023. I do think it is now time that we see something this year. We won't see anything until E3, unless they want to show something in a Nintendo Direct fairly soon. I'll get onto that in a minute. But there's that rumoured Metroid Prime trilogy / rumoured Metroid Prime remaster thing that's been going on. I think that would be a really nice surprise. Either of those would be really good. Get them on the Switch, make them available to play. Be a lot of fun. But more Metroid, like, cool. You've got Dread has had rave reviews. It did really well for a Metroid game, and I just hope that they continue to keep pushing Metroid and put that back in the limelight. 'Cause to me, Metroid is probably Nintendo's most unique franchise, honestly, because it's one of the few franchises that is sort of aimed at an older audience. It's got a bit of those horror elements. It's got more of an adult theme to it, unlike Mario and Zelda and stuff like that. And it's not to say Zelda can't be dark, but like Metroid's on another level when it comes to that sort of stuff. So those are the main games that we know about at the moment. Obviously, Nintendo likes to throw in a curveball. I'm really hoping that there are a couple more games announced. But let's look at the year. Let's actually look at what. So we've got Pokemon in January. February, I'm not entirely sure. I think that might be third-party stuff and indie stuff, because there was cool indie games coming out. We've got like the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We've got apparently, I don't know when these games are coming out. To be fair, we've got potentially Sports Story this year. There's loads of things, loads of good quality indies coming out. There's obviously third-party games, which I'll get to it in another video. The ones that are probably multi-plat or ports, but. Yeah, so January we've got Pokemon, February I'm not sure, March we've got Triangle Strategy and Kirby, both at the start and the end of the month. Then we have April is Advance Wars, and then obviously that leaves the rest of the year. Now, I think, let's say Splatoon 3 comes out let's say it comes out in June. I only say that because I feel like that maybe they don't want to put Splatoon 3 too close to Advance Wars. Might want to let it breathe a little bit. Again, that's not a crossover probably, but they might want to let it breathe a little bit. So Advance Wars comes out in April, and so you maybe release Splatoon in June. Maybe you have something in May. I'm not entirely sure what you would put there, but we'll say Splatoon is June. Then that leaves Bayonetta, Legend of Zelda, Mario and Rabbids, and potentially a Metroid game. So if you're going to put out Bayonetta, I think you do it in August. I think that's a good time to release that. August, September, around then. Legend of Zelda is clearly November, and then an October game would be Metroid Prime Remaster, Metroid Prime Trilogy. And you load the end of the year with 3 really good games, potentially one each month, September, October, November. You may want to put Bayonetta in August so that you can give that more room to breathe, because that might be out of all the games the one that potentially sells the least, just based on what the franchise does in the past. But that's a good year. Like, Nintendo doesn't need to do much more, but we know what they're like. They'll announce some either smaller games or some 1 or 2 big games throughout the year. So let's think, like, we're likely going to get a Nintendo Direct in February. The reason I think in February is because they're going to want to put one out just a month before Kirby comes out, show off a new trailer, show off a new mode, spend about 5-10 minutes talking about Kirby. I think that's going to be one of the main things. Spend time talking about Splatoon 3, and spend time talking about Advance Wars, right, and probably Triangle Strategy. So those are the 4 games that are coming out this year. That we know. Well, I think I'm pretty confident Splatoon 3 is coming out this year. But yeah, talking about Advance Wars, because you're going to need you need to market the crap out of Advance Wars, really. Talking about Triangle Strategy, same thing again. Like, just market those games. They're turn-based games. They're not a popular genre. Like, that's not true. They are a popular genre. They are not like mainstream, like platformers and like shooters and things like that. Like, people do like turn-based games, but you really have to really go hard on those and to get that audience interested. And so you market those in a Nintendo Direct. So Advance Wars, Triangle Strategy, Kirby, because it'll be about a month before it comes out, and then Splatoon 3, right? And then you sprinkle in maybe one big surprise. I don't know what that could be. Let's just say, I don't know, a Donkey Kong. Like a Donkey Kong game. I don't know what, actually that's probably a bad idea, because that probably wouldn't come out this year. But let's say F-Zero, right? They finally show off a new F-Zero. Cool. Then when you have your next Nintendo Direct, or what would be like the Nintendo Direct during E3, whether that happens or not this year, that's where you show off your Bayonetta 3, your Legend of Zelda, potentially a Metroid thing, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, because that's probably going to be end of year. You know, and then maybe a big thing for next year, like early 2023, it's Donkey Kong. Maybe show off Prime 4, like 2023. Like, Nintendo could really play this year really well. The Nintendo Directs could potentially be massive. Obviously, you know, let's have some more third-party support. That's always good. Let's have those indie games coming out. You know, they've got Silk Song there. I'm sure they're going to show off Silk Song at some point. Like, there's tons of stuff. But like right now, looking at what we do know, like, this year is looking pretty fun. Like, this just looks like a straight up good year, and I'm super excited. You know, as to what we're getting, and I love it when Nintendo has stuff that isn't necessarily the main line. Like, obviously, if Zelda comes out this year, that's a big year. But we've got Kirby, we've got Advance Wars. You know, Kirby is quite a big franchise for them. Advance Wars obviously not, but I like it when we get stuff that Nintendo. When it's not the mainline Mario or the Zelda stuff, right? I want to see a new F-Zero. Hell, I will happily see a new Wave Race. You know, other games like that they have, Excite Bike. You know, they can do these smaller projects, you know, or they can make them big projects. You know, I want to see these IPs that Nintendo are sat on. So we've got Advance Wars announced last year. Can we have F-Zero? Next year, can we have Wave Race? Like, the Switch is doing so well. So anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. So let's end things off. Let's just say that I'm looking forward to what's coming out so far, what we know about in this year. Looking forward to seeing more trailers on all of these games. Really want Splatoon 3 to grip me this time. I would love it if Bayonetta 3 and Legend of Zelda, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, would come out. But I won't hold my breath for both of them. Triangle Strategy, Mario & Rabbids, Advance Wars, tons of good stuff. Kirby. Super excited. Hopefully we'll get a Nintendo Direct in February. If we do, we'll come back, we'll discuss it, and hopefully I can be just as excited as I am currently, and even more excited when these trailers or more information is shown. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. As always, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more content, then hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description as always. And until next video, I will see you then.